Hello and thanks for joining us tonight. It's been nearly 3 months since 4 men escaped the Bibb County Jail and 2 months since the last escapee was recaptured. And while the inmates are back in custody, investigators continue to work piecing together what happened. Tonight we have a copy of the internal affairs investigation into that night. Anthony Montalto has followed this story from the beginning. He joins us in studio with the new details.
Yeah, Lori, the timeline helps put together a picture of everything that happened that night. We learned when a jailer first heard banging noises, how long it took to communicate, and now we know down to the minute when the 4 inmates jumped out of a second-floor window.
That was the human failure.
Human failure, according to Sheriff David Davis, a major problem, to quote Deputy Jonathan Hubbard's internal affairs interview. Hubbard found 2 holes in the fence on his way into work October 16th around 6:20 a.m. He immediately informed supervisors.
It was not something I wanted to hear about.
The early morning discovery, part of a jailbreak that started nearly 12 hours before. That's when Deputy Travaris Freeman started his shift watching over the A and B wings of the jail at 7 p.m. He immediately noticed something was off.
He had made some report to his supervisor, the corporal that was in charge of the jail that night, that he heard some banging.
But according to Freeman's internal affairs interview, he didn't report it for 7 hours. He says he told his supervisor at 2 a.m. According to the timeline of events, Corporal Latasha Culver first told Freeman to log it. But around 3 a.m., she asked him to check out the noise.
He did not do a thorough block check and did not go through and do as he said he did.
But according to the report, he wouldn't check for another 2 hours. From when Culver asked Freeman to check, and when he did it, a lot happened. The blue Dodge Challenger parked in the west parking lot around 3:21 and left the property at 3:26. Minutes later, 2 inmates crawled through the holes in the fence at 3:29. The second 2 crawled through at 3:30. According to the report, by the time Freeman checked on the source of the noise around 5 a.m., the inmates had already been gone for more than an hour.
We have to know that something is happening or verify that something is happening, and that was the human failure.
Plenty more happened that night outside of the jail that helped the 4 inmates escape. For example, the blue Challenger first entered the parking lot around 10 p.m. that night. Sheriff David Davis identified the driver as Jacqueline Williams. He took 11 minutes to cut 2 holes in the fence and send a bag up to the inmates on the second floor. Back to you.
Thank you, Anthony. Several accounts in the report document severe understaffing that night. They also note lights were not working in the B block.